So I wanted to talk about how to customize Windows 11. There's a lot of things you can do to customize your system, but we're just going to take a look at some of them, not everything that you can do. Today, we're going to look at kind of explaining what customization means, some common customizations, and then I'll demonstrate in Windows 11 how you can do it. So customizing is to make your computer easier to use and faster for you to use the way you use it. And you could also use it to express a little bit of style if you want to. And that's what customize means. So you have the ability to take something that's just a square and modify it and change it and do a little bit of things with it. It's like taking an object and refinishing it, taking a piece of wood and giving it a different design, or putting a cover, a tablecloth over it, or something like that. Now, there's a lot of things you can change. You can change the start menu, the taskbar, the background, your text and fonts, your mouse pointer, the power and battery settings, and even default apps. I don't know if we'll have time to take a look at default apps today. So you should be seeing my Windows 11 desktop now. And what we're going to do is take a look at how to get into the places where you can customize things. There's a tool at the bottom called the taskbar, and that's customizable. We'll take a look at that in a minute. What we want to get to is we want to get to settings. So we can launch settings by using the Windows button here. And this is the start menu that pops up. And we'll take a look at how to customize that in a few minutes too. But settings is a gear. So you can click on the gear and that brings up the settings screen that shows you a lot of information about your system. One of the things that is in here is called personalization. And remember, we're just taking a look at the things to customize your Windows. So if I click on personalization, I can see that I can apply a theme. So the theme determines the color scheme for my desktop. So right now I have a theme that's like this. And I'm going to go to the taskbar, click on settings. If I change my theme to this theme, you can see how my desktop has changed a lot. My taskbar background has changed. And so I have a totally different theme here, and I can find a theme that I prefer to use and what I chose to do. So you have lots of different themes that you can apply. You can actually install and create and manage themes here from different areas that you might want to use. And you can browse themes on the Microsoft Store as well. So it just gives you the ability to choose a combination of wallpapers, sounds, and colors. It just gives your desktop a little more personality is all. So that's what a theme is. The other thing you can change is the background. You can change the background to be a picture album. You can change the time it changes the picture. You can choose to select a picture from a picture, or even change it to a solid color if you want a solid color. If you prefer something simple, you can do that. And the slideshow gives you the ability to choose a picture album for where you want the picture to be, and you can browse picture albums that you might have on your device. You can actually get it to rotate. And this actually creates a rotating slideshow. It changes pictures every 30 minutes, but you can change it so it changes pictures every minute. And what'll happen is that this picture in the background will change every minute to give you a little more variety if that's something you want. So that's one of the things you can do with your picture. Now, one function you have is you can let the slideshow run even if you're on your battery power here. So that's one setting you can have for it here if you want to. So you can personalize your background in a variety of different ways just with those types of things. So background, slideshow, color images, themes, gives you the ability. You can change your colors and accent colors if you want to. Some people prefer a dark mode. Some people prefer a light mode. Some people want to have transparency. So sometimes things you can see through a transparency effect on Windows. That can be turned on or off. You can adjust your accent colors for your windows and other areas like this. So you have a lot of options to personalize your own screen and even change things like dynamic lighting, which if you have certain devices connected, you can change your app. You can change other settings here on personalization as well. Just some options that are available for you to look at that you can do to customize your screen. And we'll see if my screen, you can see my image has changed here. So it's going to rotate through different slideshow, different images here automatically because I have it set to do it every minute. And I went back and checked it. So we'll see different ones. So that's what background, and I have a album here. You can create a picture album and use your own pictures if you want to. And if you don't want it to change it that fast, you can change it to every 30 minutes if you want to and adjust it however you want to do it. So that's one of the personalization tools. Let me go to another tool, text size, very common issue that people want to deal with. So that's under accessibility. And it's the top one here, text size. And it's actually just a little slider you can use. So it'll show you a preview of what text will look like as you adjust the slider. And then you click to select it and you click apply. And then it applies the text size. You can see all of my navigation here is larger and all of my menus are larger too. So that's one of the options you can do. I'm okay with 100% usually, but it's something you can use. Now, there's another tool here called display. You can actually change the settings here on display to scale your resolution and scale factor. That means how much resolution are you going to see on your screen. If you have a large high resolution monitor, it'll usually typically recommend something, but you have the ability to make your screen resolution a little bit smaller. It makes things bigger, sometimes easier to see, but it's also the ability to turn off custom scaling. Custom scaling gives you the ability to adjust how things appear on your screen and how things look. So we'll go back to settings here and go look at one more thing. You have the ability again to do that through accessibility and adjust the text size and scaling. You can change how scroll bars and other things look. You can change the cursor as well. So some people have trouble finding their cursor when they're working with a document. So you have the ability to turn on this little indicator that makes it easier for you to find if you're looking at a document. You can change the cursor size if you want to for text cursor and make it even thicker or thinner if you want to. So if you are working in a Word document and editing it or working on a web browser and you need a thicker cursor, sometimes a little too thick is sometimes hard, but you can use it to affect things. And so you also have the ability to edit your mouse pointer. If you prefer a color to the pointer, you can customize it and make it a particular color that's easier to find and see on the screen in some way. I think this magenta one will be easy for us to see. And you can change the size. So those are in accessibility features. Keep in mind that if you make your cursor or mouse too big, I mean, it's easy to see, but it might hide things and it might, be difficult to see behind it if you're doing other things with it. So just keep that in mind. You can make it simple. You can make it an outline. You can make it inverted so that it changes. I don't know if it'll change here, but if you move it over different areas or give it the color. I like the color one myself. That's really a convenient one. Now, at the bottom here, we have something called the taskbar. And the taskbar gives you the ability to look at your search box, your Windows start menu, and some applications that you might have in here. When these little icons show up here, if there's a dot below it, it's because the application is open. I have settings, open. So I see a dot, and if I hover over it with my mouse, I'll see a little pop-up window and I can get to it right away. If I have, say, my Edge browser open here, you'll see that I can move around with it and I can move it. And if I click on settings, my Edge browser is still open, but it's hidden behind settings. I can switch rapidly between applications in the taskbar. But I also go to my File Explorer a lot, and I also want to go to PowerPoint. So I have these applications pinned in my taskbar. Now, when you have an application pinned in your taskbar, this is the snipping tool, and you right-click on it, it brings up these options here. This is the snipping tool, and it gives me some quick options that I can select, or I can unpin it from the taskbar. I'm going to go to my applications here, and I'm going to take something called Photos, and I'm going to right-click on it in my Start menu. I can pin it to my taskbar by clicking here. So even from the Start menu, if I click to pin to taskbar, and you can see now my Photos app is in my taskbar, so you can customize this and make it easier for you to find things. If I want to unpin it from the taskbar, I can unpin it from the taskbar. So I have the ability to modify how the taskbar looks. So if I right-click on this taskbar anywhere in the gray area here, I can look at the taskbar settings. So I can show this search box or not show it. If I leave it there, it'll search for things on my computer. It'll also go out and search the web, but I can choose to have it on or hide it if I want to. And now it's hidden. It's not in my taskbar anymore. I like having it there. I like having the box. Or if I prefer having it a little bit smaller, I can show the icon, the little search icon here, but I can't type into it. So you have the ability to customize some of these functions. The task view will give you the ability to see what apps are open, and then you have the ability to adjust the taskbar behaviors. Now, what Microsoft did in Windows 11 is they cut back on the ways you can modify the taskbar. So you can't necessarily move it around to different parts of the screen anymore, but you have to be able to, you could use third-party tools if you want to do that. But one thing you can do is you can automatically hide the taskbar. If you have on automatically hide, it pops up very similar to what happened on a Mac, so that if it gets in the way and you don't want it there all the time, you can get rid of it. So badges are little indicators, like if you have a new email or a new message, or if you have a notification, you can have them notified on your tool as well. So there's some of the abilities to show some of these other icons here if you want to. These are what are called system tray icons, these little icons on the right. So OneDrive is right here. If I don't want to see OneDrive, I can turn it off, and OneDrive will not be visible. If I want to see Microsoft Outlook, I can show Microsoft Outlook. Now, some of these little system tray icons get small, and so some of them may not appear, and so I can show the hidden ones here that might not appear outright, so that one of them here will show and some of them will not. So you have options to really do this. If you eject and constantly are always putting in and ejecting media, that's one of the things you might want in your taskbar and to show in terms of your hidden icons here if you want to customize that. You can align it a little bit. You can center it, or you can put it on the left and make things up on the left if you want to, but not really to adjust it too much in terms of where you position it on the screen. Another customization is the Start menu. When you hit the Windows key or you hit the Start menu, you can pin these items to the Start menu, or you can unpin them. So favorite apps are up here. So if I don't use Camo Studio that much, I can right click on it and I can unpin it from the start. So it's gone now. It doesn't take up room on my start menu, so I see them. If your pinned ones will be visible right when you click on the Windows icon or the Windows key, you can see all of them here in an alphabetical order. And if you want, gee, I'd really like my Copilot to be here. I want to pin that to the start. I can pin it to start. And now if I go back, my Copilot will be pinned to start here. And I can feature it. If I want to feature it in a particular way, I can highlight it and make it a little more visible if I'm interested in doing that. So those are some tools that you can utilize to customize your start menu. We looked at the cursor and pointer. Let's take a look at the system and power options. So the system gives you access to a lot of functions here, but power and battery is something that a lot of people don't really think about. And you have the ability to adjust your screen, sleep, and hibernate function. You have the ability to say whenever your device is plugged in, meaning it has a power connected to it, you can say, I don't want my screen to go off. I don't want my device to go to sleep. But if it's on battery, you can say, gee, I'd really like to have it go to my screen to go off after 20 minutes and my device to go to sleep maybe after about an hour, because that will save your battery lifetime if you want to. So you have the ability to adjust those functions on here. You can take a look at your battery usage and see what the history of the battery has been. And it gives you life with power. It tells you how to shorten display turn off. That tells you helpful tips here as well to be able to give you options for customizing these types of things if you're interested in doing that. So those are just a few of the personalization tips. Look at personalization, accessibility, and system for your power and battery. You do have the ability to turn on a focus mode whenever you want to from focus, and you can adjust your notifications that you have when you want to be, if you want to be disturbed or not, if you want do not disturb turned on, and you can prioritize your notifications as well for Windows if you get notified by apps on your screen a lot. So I just wanted to show a few of the tips that are available for you and using it. You can see just some tools that give you the ability to customize a few things that you can have on your screen and customize Windows for what you might want to do with it. Go to my start menu and I launch Microsoft 365 Copilot. It shows me my applications here, and it shows me things that I've opened up recently. There is a Copilot chat function here. So Microsoft 365 Copilot has Copilot integrated into the Office applications. So you can use it for generative, you can use it for editing, summarizing, other things like that that are unique to that particular application. Like in PowerPoint, it'll ask you if you want a summary of the presentation. On Word, it'll ask you if you want a summary of the document or if you want to create a new document or do something like that. So it gives you the ability to use Copilot within the Office applications, whereas the standard Copilot will just give you a chat window that will give you the ability to monitor, to utilize it with chat. So it's just a chat function as opposed to using it within the apps themselves.